one of the most important ingredients is eggs. We completely emptied this egg carousel, which is about 24 eggs, and I'm doing them in the oven. I parchment paper lined this so it'll be super easy cleanup because we don't have a dishwasher hooked up yet. And then we just whisk this up. They're farm fresh eggs, and let me tell you, these yolks are stubborn. There we go. Now to make scrambled eggs in the oven, first 10 to 15 minutes you actually scrape the bottom of the pan like that to get it off. The next 10 to 15 minutes you should be able to scrape and chop. And then just 5 minutes left to kind of bring it to a little bit more of a solidified state. But rather than just telling you, why don't I show you? This is after 15 minutes, and we're just going to scrape the bottom of the pan. And you can see it's barely clumping up at all, but there is some change to the texture. That's just what we want to see. And then we're going to put it in for 10 more minutes. Do this again, and then 5 minutes after that. Now while your eggs are baking, you'll want to start cooking your breakfast meat of choice. It could be sausage, bacon, ham, whatever you like in a breakfast burrito. That's what you prepare while the eggs are cooking. We're going to choose sausage, and it's our own sausage from our farm-raised pigs. It's delicious. And if you ever come to visit us, we'll gladly give you a sample. Now, if you don't have freezer paper, I highly recommend you get it before we do this. It'll make it so much easier. So while your eggs are cooking, you're going to cut the freezer paper to the size of the flour tortillas. I highly recommend the large ones, and I'll show you why when we fold up the burrito. So now this will be the perfect size to wrap it up in a minute. Well, in a few minutes. The eggs and sausage are still cooking. But you will replicate this about 20 times. Okay, this is after a total of 25 minutes, and you can see that it's really clumping together. So you're going to scrape the bottom, pull it away from that parchment paper, or the side of your pan if you decided to forego the parchment paper, and kind of chop it up, mix it up. Okay, so you can see how this is already starting to look like scrambled eggs. That's what we want at this stage. And so now we set the timer for just 5 more minutes and let it do its thing. This is seriously the easiest way I know to make a big batch of scrambled eggs. Now that's how it should look when you take it out. It's still a little soupy, but it will toughen up. Plus, it allows you to go ahead and break up the big clumps, and then you're ready to let it set. So now we have the beautiful sausage, the lovely scrambled eggs, and now it's time for you to choose what else you want to go in it. So my daughter and I both like a lot. We put the scrambled eggs, the sausage, cheese, tomatoes, onions, and salsa in ours. My husband just likes the sausage and cheese. Now the more you put in it, the more you can stretch the ingredients into more and more burritos, because you're not using as much of the little ingredients, the main ingredients in each one. But make sure you make it how you like it, you know? Once all of your ingredients are prepped, you're ready to start setting up your assembly line. So you'll need the shiny paper up. I don't know if I can get this to shine for you, but you can tell it's shiny by the feel. And the other side is really good to write on. And they can overlap because you're going to fold it later, so it doesn't even matter. So you can really squeeze these in and get a lot on the table. All right, let's go. Now, I wasn't able to get all 15 on, but we made a good start. And if we have extra ingredients, we'll just make more. No problem. Okay, now you're ready to use the cheese of your choice. We really like the 4-cheese Mexican version, but if you prefer any others, just use that. So you'll just want to put a dollop kind of in the middle, not over by the edges, and this will act as the glue that kind of holds it all together. So even though you can choose any cheese you want, the cheese is actually pretty important. And once you have cheese on all of them, then it's time for the eggs. You are going to have to wrap all of the sides up, so you have to imagine like there's a square in the middle and put everything inside that square. Alright, so now the sausage is our favorite part. We're actually going to do 4 sausage in each, and I did 2 packages of sausage to be able to accommodate that. So the last step is to put on the salsa. And Abby's doing a great job of sprinkling it around. Just remember to stay inside the square.
I'm trying to.
Good job.
Good.
All right, so you'll want to kind of shake things in the middle. Fold this side in, this side, and you're just making a little pocket. I prefer to try to make it a nice square without edges sticking out like this one here. But, I mean, if edges stick out, they stick out. And then we'll just keep on folding. And then to wrap this up, we just fold around it just as we folded the burrito. There's one breakfast burrito, and they end up being fairly flat, so they're stackable, which is great. So I'm looking at this stack, and I'm realizing we just got a whole pig in the freezer, and I'm just halfway done with this whole process. Well, methinks that'll work. That should be okay. Now these 6 are for my sweet husband, and you'll find that his are a lot easier. He only needs 3 ingredients: cheese, eggs, and sausage. And that's his. Basically, whatever you like in a burrito, slap it in the middle and wrap it up. Thank you, Abby.
You try to make sure not to get too much on these sides.
Good tip. Reading instructions. Take it out of the freezer, keep it wrapped up in the freezer paper, and put it in the microwave for between 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. And it'll depend on the strength of your microwave. Happy eating!
Do I say it now?
That's a wrap!